I'll start. Welcome to Podband Pipecast,
the premier pipe band podcast. It's been a while since we've had an us episode.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
I think I said welcome weird. I'm used to other people saying it. I don't know.
We're used to them struggling, and then we laugh at them, and
then we struggle.
I don't know. Anyway. Welcome. Today, we're going to talk about being a parent in a pipe band.
What?
Now,
why are we talking about this?
Oh, I don't know.
We're not qualified.
We don't know anything. Well, this is exactly why. Because for those that don't know, I'm expecting our first child in April. Yay! I don't know what when you're listening to this, so I might already have the child by now. I don't know.
April 2021.
Yeah. And it's very exciting. But as anyone who's ever had a child could probably tell you, it's also like, holy crap, I'm gonna be a parent. I'm gonna be a mom, and I don't know even
what do.
And with band and like what do. I don't even know. So it's important. So they say, I don't know anything about this because, like I said, I'm not a mom yet. But it's important for you to have things that you do that are like just for you, right? And like multiple women that I've talked to that are moms in pipe bands have said, it's important that if you enjoy pipe band, that you continue to do pipe band. And it's been a part of my life for longer than I would want to say. So obviously it's something I'm going to continue participating in to the best of my ability. And there's a lot of women who have been able to make their pipe band careers highly successful while also having children. And I'm really happy to hear that. And I want to know, what is the secret? What do?
See, but if you leave, I get to take your job. So, it's okay.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't be around anymore. And then I thought you would be sad.
No, I was kidding. I don't want your job. I would be sad if you were gone.
I'm not leaving. So, yeah, we asked our listeners to give us some advice about what do when you're a parent, when you have a child and you're in a band and you got, whether it's the Highland Games or practice or like what do. So we asked them and they answered us.
They said, here's what do.
We had a lot of very nice and encouraging comments and things like that. So thank you to everyone who responded. I guess we can start with Valerie. Valerie Epstein, who is from our band, from Mesa, Caledonia, and she and her husband Paul have played in the band for a very, very, very long time and in other bands too. And she says, Paul and I know a bit about that, being a pipe band parent, that is. We just dragged the kids along to practice and games at all ages and stages. Some of our kids wanted to join in and some were kind of forced. But we made it work and had fun doing it together as a family. It has given my kids so many cool opportunities that they never would have experienced without pipe band. So fun. So I think specifically we were saying, is it a good idea to bring the kids around the band?
And I think the consensus is yes.
Generally, probably. I was dragged around to all the band. We will hear from my mom as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it's a fun thing I think you can do with your kids too. But also, like, what else do other than just bring them?
Julie from our Facebook page commented, being the youngest of 4 brothers all involved in pipe bands, the guy was born into it. In fact, he went to multiple parades before he was a week old. At age 13, he played tenor drum in a band that won the Worlds.
So got a little picture there.
Yeah, that's not a thing that a lot of 13-year-olds could say, so I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So if you bring your kids into it young, maybe they'll win the Worlds. We don't know. But
maybe.
That's a cute picture of this her son, and she's and her son is sleeping while there's a piper in the background, which I said is very impressive. That
kids will sleep through anything.
Yeah.
If you can get them to sleep.
Honestly, Sean will sleep through anything too. He sleeps at games all the time. So.
I just love the games.
So, yeah. I guess when they're around it that much, you know.
It's just background noise.
Yeah. And we did ask people also, you know, if you're bringing your kids to the games, did you encourage them to get involved, or like, did you tell them you're in a band now? We've heard other people tell their stories on our show where their parents are just like, you're doing this now. And it's like,
this is what's up.
sometimes it works out and sometimes it's fine. And other people, you know, like, what's her name? Julie?
Yeah.
Other people like Julie are like, well, they were just around it and then they just did it. So
that's what you do.
That's what you do. All right. What else we got?
We also have Emily, and she said, our first kiddo was at the games pretty much right away and loved it. Our second hasn't had a chance because of COVID. Get some ear protection and a kilt, and they'll be good to go. My son loved drumming away and stole the show. Mama, make sure you don't try to bounce back too soon. Give yourself some time to recover fully, especially if you end up having a C-section. The recovery for the first one can be rough, especially if it's unexpected like mine was. I'm excited to have them both involved in pipe band when they're older, but definitely wouldn't force it upon them if they have no desire to.
Okay, so that's the other thing. This is actually like the perfect possible time, I think, to have to have a baby as a woman in a pipe band, because there's no contest right now. So, you know, it's like this when, you know, if you have a job and you have to take maternity leave and people are like, when are you going to come back? And I'm like, when I gosh dang feel like it, right? I've never done this before. I don't know what the recovery time is going to be like. And things can happen. Things can take longer or be more strenuous than other times. So, you know, who knows what recovery time is going to be like. But you know what?
Don't rush it.
Yeah. And you know what I won't be doing? Having just had a baby, I won't be going to a Highland Games because there are none. So if you're watching this in the future and you're like, oh, wow, I was looking for some advice on when to go back to Highland Games after having a baby. Like, I'm sorry, but the time that we're recording this is, it is what it is.
You got plenty of time.
Yeah. What else did she say?
She said her babies are 1 and 3, so I'm new to the parenting game as a piper. My husband also plays drums in the band, too. Having an extra set of hands, or 5, at the games is a must for when you both have to be playing.
Yeah.
So I think that's very good advice.
That is good advice. So luckily, Sean, my husband, is not a performer in the band. So, you know, hopefully he can be there to watch the child, but also having an extra set of hands.
Or 5.
Or 5. Like, you know, if you're a couple where both of you are in the band, like, you can't be watching your kid at whatever age. I can't even imagine, like, if they're, like, a toddler, like, running around.
And trying to fetch them while also trying to, like, tune and get prepped for competition. And
being like, oh, we're doing a run-through, but I see my kid running around.
Doing a run-through
of the whole games. Stealing nachos from the vendors. I don't know. Sounds like something my kid would do.
You talked about headphones,
ear protection.
Ear protection, yeah. And she said that her kid would wear them just around the house to help them get used to needing them and wearing them.
Yeah, that was the thing that I was curious about. If, because I've seen some parents with their like babies having on like little earmuffs because pipe bands are loud.
Don't want to hurt those little ears.
Yeah, but then I was like, some kids, I'm sure a lot of kids are fine, but some kids that I know of would like not want to wear anything on their head, so they would like rip it off. I was like, what do you do to get them to wear it? But you have them wear them around the house.
Yeah, you have them just wear them all the time. Make them fun. Make it a game.
Yeah, and then if they always wear them around the house, they can never hear you. So, you know, that could be a positive or a negative. You could swear around your child. They would never know.
Perfect. Todd from our band also commented, I'll just echo what others have said. Make sure you have a non-band member there at the events to help and get them involved in band or dancing when young. And then you would ask them, did you do anything to encourage them to get interested in band or dancing? Did you just say you're doing this now? And Todd had responded, they were around it since birth, so they just gravitated to it with very little encouragement. Ryan was particular in stealing my sticks and pads since he could walk.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. 'Cause that was another thing I was wondering about. Because I know I was kind of just around it. And I never really, until I think it was like 10. Yeah, I was 10 when I started to be like, oh, maybe this is something I would want to do. It never, like, for some reason, never occurred to me that I could be in the band, you know?
It's just the thing your parents did.
Yeah, and like, because we didn't really have a lot of younger kids in the band at that point. So it wasn't like I had seen, you know, a juvenile band where there's kids playing. So I was like, kids don't do this. It's just
parents.
It's just what parents do. Yeah. So, yeah. But then I also got asked by my mom and my Uncle Dave, who was our drum sergeant at that time, was like, do you want to do this? And I was like, oh, that's a thing I can do. So, yeah. All right. So then, speaking of feedback about me or whatever, we asked my mom what she did because she had 3 children, all while playing pipes in the band. And this whole time, throughout the time that I've been pregnant, she was telling me about how it was for her and how, you know, she was playing pipes and competed at the Costa Mesa Games at the end of May, and then had my brother at the end of June, and then did the same thing, and then had me at the beginning of July. So obviously she was very pregnant at the time that she was actually competing in the band. So,
are there any pictures of that?
We'll have to see if we can find some. I'll ask her about that.
I think that would be fun to see, just your mom super pregnant while competing.
Well, speaking of, if you're on our Patreon, patreon.com/podbandpipecast, you can see the video feed of this and all of our episodes for a low, low price of $5
plus tax
per month. And maybe we can find a picture of my pregnant mother playing pipes, and we'll put it on the screen right now.
And if we can't, we'll Photoshop it.
We'll do a drawing. Alex, our editor, will figure something out. And it's on the screen right now, and it's going to be beautiful.
It's beautiful. Maybe we'll share both if we have both.
Yeah, let's do both. We always have these crazy requests for him, and it usually works out. He does something.
Pulls through.
Yeah.
Or he cuts it out, and we never know.
Yeah. So what did my own mother say?
Hopefully the mom or dad or someone can go and help with the kids. Hopefully you're not just doing it yourself, whether you're mom or dad or whoever you are. Goes with what we said about extra set of hands.
Or 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plan carefully and take everything you might need. So make a list and check it twice.
Check it twice. And I remember her telling me specifically, everything and anything you might need. So a lot of stuff.
And along with that, you should get like a wagon or something to lug around all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, what does she have listed here?
Pup tents are places for kids to be out of the sun and can take a nap or grate. Bring strollers or wagons to help haul kids and stuff. Take blankets or sleeping bags to make a soft bed for naps.
All those games where the parking lot is like way far, and then you have to walk and like carry your drum and all of your crap like into the games, and they put the pipe bands like super, super far away.
Wagon.
Yeah. Plus having a kid and all of their stuff that they have and that they need, and then like even if they can walk at that point, they're not going to want to walk that whole way, because I don't even want to walk that way. So get a wagon for them and the stuff, and you.
Mm-hmm. Get in the wagon.
Yes.
Have your husband pull you around.
Yes. Bring a rolling desk chair and like roll yourself
with a paddle.
Yes.
And paddle yourself.
Oh, we can make this work.
Yeah.
Like you're in a canoe.
Exactly.
And then you got your trail and your wagon full of kids behind you. I don't know how many kids you have. Maybe you got a wagon full of them.
Got a wagon full of them. Well, okay. If you got a bunch of kids, you put them all at the front like a sleigh, and then they pull you to your spot.
Smart. And see, the more kids you have, the easier it would be on them, because like...
So then they can handle it. And also it gets some exercise. Kids need the exercise.
Exactly. This is brilliant.
Yes.
I think we got it.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Forget the rest of this.
What else do we need?
We need an ice chest for cold items or food and snacks.
Yes.
Kids are hungry.
Kids be eating everything.
That they do.
That they do. I mean, I eat everything.
Yeah,
So
that I do.
I can't even imagine like two of me.
You will. You will be imagining that soon.
I will be having two of me. I count as two of me right now, right?
Yeah, technically. Right?
I say that when we get like dessert or something, you know, go through a drive-thru and I'm like, well, I'm really two people right now, so
it's okay to get the large.
But yeah, cold items and our food and snacks. You know, when kids really just want their juice.
Juicy juice.
Their juicy juice. And they need their juice right now. And you're like, but we don't have that kind of juice at this Highland Games. Well, you should have brought some.
That's what the ice chest was for.
Mm-hmm.
But you forgot it. Don't forget it.
Don't forget.
Also take toys and things to amuse kids.
You mean the kids aren't going to be into watching band contests?
I'll be honest, I'm not even that into watching band contests.
I mean, they have to appreciate a good MSR.
That's true. That's true.
When
They should be
like,
judging by the time they can walk.
Yeah, by the time they're like 2, at least.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what this is about. Kids not being amused at a Highland Games.
They don't need toys. They have pipe bands.
Yeah, they even when there's no competitions, they can like watch the pipers too. And I mean, who doesn't love that?
Exactly.
I don't know what this is about. I don't know. I don't know about this advice.
I think your mom got that one wrong.
That's a joke. Kids will not enjoy watching pipers too.
Yes.
Or drummers or whoever you are.
Bring some toys.
Yeah.
Put them in the wagon.
Bring your Nintendo Switch.
Yes. That keeps them busy.
Yeah. Your iPad. And Wi-Fi.
Being very classist right now, not everyone can afford a Nintendo Switch or an iPad.
I don't even have an iPad.
I say, holding my iPad.
You have one right there. I have this beat up phone from like 2013.
It's got a button.
It does have it has a home button. Has multiple buttons actually. There's like no buttons on phones nowadays. Kids nowadays.
They're not buttons. Back in my day we had paper.
We didn't even have phones.
Yeah. But you know what we should have?
What?
Extra clothing and diapers. She also said that Corey ended up wearing a clown suit when he threw up on his clothes. So that's another picture I'm going to need you to ask your mom for.
Yes, I will ask her for that. So what happened was we were in Scotland and we were going to one of those contests where it wasn't the Worlds, but it was one of the contests before the Worlds, and we had to be on a bus to go. And we were on the bus, and it being a 1-year-old, because my parents were insane and took a 1-year-old to Scotland because, you know,
that's what they do.
That's what you do. And so he was, you know, a small child, and being as small children sometimes do, he threw up all over my mom's band shirt and all over himself and ruined his clothes. And so she managed to like clean herself off, but she's like, well, he is just a mess. And so the first thing they did when they got to the games, because they're like, like we didn't bring any extra clothes. So they got to the games and they went to the vendor area and bought him some clothes, but the only clothes that they had, you know, being a vendor area at the Highland Games, was like this clown costume.
This is great.
So, and he's like 1-year-old. He doesn't know. He doesn't care what he was wearing. So he was dressed up like a clown for the rest of the day.
Well, that's what happens when you throw up on yourself. You look like a clown.
Yeah. It's very true. So I think that's good advice. Even if you don't think you'll need it.
You might need it.
You might need it. And if you don't have it, your kid might end up wearing a clown suit. And that would make for a good picture, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you want to see that picture, once again, we'll find it. And that right there is worth your $5 plus tax a month.
She also said that the sound isn't too bad, and kids seem to think of it as a white noise and will fall asleep with all the music.
So I read something about there's like whatever age it is, whatever point of pregnancy it is that your your baby can hear sounds. And they're like, oh yeah, by this time you can start putting headphones on your belly and play music for your developing baby, and they can hear the music and it'll stimulate their brain. But don't make it too loud, because like you don't want them to get hearing damage. And I told my mom that, and she was like, like, I played pipes with you guys and the chanter's literally right there. I don't think you can give them hearing damage.
Don't hold us to that.
So that can neither be confirmed nor denied. Just,
Caution. Put earmuffs on your belly while you're playing.
Yeah. Wrap yourself in like some
egg cartons. Isn't that what people use to soundproof things?
Really? I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe don't wrap yourself in egg cartons.
Do wrap yourself in egg cartons, maybe, and just for fun, just to see if it works.
Test it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
She also says it's hard work, but taking kids helps them learn what is appropriate behaviors, and they get exposed to a wonderful music/culture. It can be stressful on the playing member, but if there's a helper person, that really takes the edge off of bringing kids to the Highland Games.
Yes, I agree. It was weird. Growing up, it's like if you're around a pipe band, it's like, well, yeah, like people play bagpipes and people wear kilts. And then you see other people who are from different cultures, and it's just like, yeah, maybe that's just what they wear. Whereas if you're not around that, maybe as a kid, you're just like, you look at people who are dressed weird, and you're like, that's weird.
You're a judgmental little shit.
Yeah.
And, no. Don't be such a judgmental child.
Yes. Yeah. So make sure your kids are not judgmental. Join a pipe band if you're not already in a pipe band. Mm-hmm. Then when you have kids, bring them around the pipe band, and then, the world will be a better place.
You have more open children.
Yeah. And yeah, get an extra person to help you.
Or 5.
People are very, nice about at least in our band. I don't know. Your band might be different, but in our band, people love kids, and they're everyone's super excited. And other people that have had kids around the band are always like, oh, can we help, or do you need anything? And I can watch them while you tune and stuff. So, it'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Your kid really is just the band kid. So
yeah, it's owned by everyone in the band.
Yeah. And then she said she never made my kids play an instrument. It was actually their uncles that were in the band that said, you're here all the time, you might as well play something. So,
I mean, that's true.
Let the family do the thrusting of the pipe band world onto them.
Yeah. Or if your kid is just around the band all the time, they're going to have all these proxy aunts and uncles who are adults, other adults who are around the band who can just be like, hey kid, do you want
Might
me
as well
to
play it?
Yeah. You want me to teach you drums? Hey kid, want some drums?
Want some drums? We all know Todd will help push for the future little snare drummer.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's also, maybe different people are different, but I think depending on your relationship with your parent or your child, you may not be the right person to teach your kid, because I think it would have been weird for me taking pipe lessons from my mom, but knowing other people in the band who were not my mom, even if it was my uncle, it's less weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But I don't know, maybe it's not weird for you. Maybe you as the parent could teach your child and it would be fine. Or maybe your kid will just get mad at you and not listen to you when you tell them they need to practice. I don't know. I'm sure lots of people have that experience too. But yeah, having another person who's not your parent tell you what to do to learn an instrument seems to be
a better way to
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not your parent telling you what to do.
Classic mom always telling me what to do.
Come on, Mom. Jeez. Giving me a whole list of things to do.
Look at that. It never stops.
This is actually helpful though. This is the time in my life where I've always appreciated my mom. I love my mom. I love my parents. But this, especially when you start to have kids of your own, I think is the time in your life when you're like, wow, I need to know what my parents did. Either so I can do that or so I can not do that. In my case, it's I probably need to do all those things. Some cases,
Will not be taking advice. Thank you.
Yes. Maybe don't ask your parents. I don't know.
I love your parents too.
Yes. So, yeah, that's good advice. Do you have any advice?
I will babysit the child. I just want to hold the child. Yeah.
Okay. I will allow you to hold my child.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me poke it in the foot. I will not jab. It will be a little poke just to make sure it's real.
Make sure people, which I have noticed as a person who does not have a child as of yet, make sure people want to watch your child before you ask them to watch your child.
And don't just leave them with your child.
Yes, and don't just be like, here, watch my child, because as a person who does not have kids, if you give me a kid, like, obviously now it's going to be different that I've, like, learned more about children. But if you don't have kids and someone hands you a child, it's going to be like, what do I do?
Help.
Yes, so make sure they actually want to take care of your child and know how to take care of your child.
And don't just expect special treatment because you're a mother.
Yes, exactly. Don't just let your kid run around and never, like, discipline them.
Kids will be kids, but they don't gotta be that kind of kid.
No. If your child is, like, just, like, have them ask before they bang on a drum randomly. You know?
We're saying these things, and I know there's people out there that are going to be like, yeah, well, you're not parents, so you don't know yet.
I know, there's people that are... Yeah.
I know, I'm just saying. Like,
there's people who are going to be offended by me saying that, but, like, there's people who have children and people who don't have children, and y'all have to get along. And being a person who's in the middle right now, I can see both sides. Like, don't let your kid grab someone's pipes without asking.
teach them manners.
Yeah. Don't let your kid grab someone's drum or someone's drumsticks without asking. That's my advice as a person who does not yet have children.
If I see your kid doing that, I'm gonna reference this episode and be like, hey, you let him do that.
And then I'll be sad.
I won't have to.
Don't worry. Her Aunt Adela will yell at her and be like, no. Bad child.
No touchy.
So, yeah, I don't know. Anything else we have to say on this topic?
Well, I think that's all I'm qualified to say is reading what everybody else said.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah, we have no idea what we're doing. And isn't that
just gonna happen?
Yeah. Isn't that the story of our lives?
Who really has any idea aside from your mom?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I feel like once you've had your second kid, you probably do. Your first one, like, you still don't really know.
Mm-hmm. The first one, you're like going by the books. The
Yeah.
second one, you're just like, I'm an expert now.
You're like, I knew. But even then, kids are all very different, right?
Yeah.
Maybe once you've had like 3.
I think once you get to 10,
10 is probably good.
then you can start. Yeah.
You can start being like, I actually know things.
Then you're an expert.
But until then, you just...
Until you have 10 kids, don't even talk to me.
Well, I mean, then by the time you have 10 kids, the older ones can start taking care of the younger ones. So you don't even have to take care of them.
And then your oldest kid can be qualified to talk about kids before they even have their own kid.
Yes. And then you won't be in our position where we're like, we don't know what we're doing.
I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I have to ask random people on the internet.
Yeah. And you know what happens when we ask random people on the internet.
They gave us advice. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And the people that responded.
We appreciate all of you and we love you. And we hope that you and your children are doing very well during this tough time. And if you don't have children, we hope that you are doing very well during this tough time. And we will see you eventually, maybe sometime at a Highland Games.
In like a year. And you'll see a child.
And by that time, man, my kid's going to be running around and talking and playing instruments.
Yep.
A year from now. That's how it's going to be.
Is that when babies talk? When do babies talk?
They can talk and play instruments
At 1
and
year old.
read books at 1 year old. See how much I know about children? I was joking. I don't want people to actually think that.
No, I think we know you're joking.
Okay, that's good.
They should be good in like playing instruments by 6 months.
I mean, I'm not that unqualified to be a mom. Like,
You took classes.
I took baby classes.
Yeah.
They're all virtual, but like whatever. I might have been eating ice cream while I was in a baby class.
But the
like,
knowledge is real.
yeah. I know you're not supposed to shake a baby. I know that. I didn't need a class to tell me that.
Maybe we should cut the episode before people start calling CPS before you have the kid.
They know we're joking. It's okay.
We do joke episodes and filler episodes sometimes.
I mean,
we joke.
Even though, like, pipe band is serious. You gotta not joke about it. Serious. So
cut out everything we said that was a joke. Only listen to the advice.
Yeah. There's going to be a very serious and a very short episode by the time Alex is done with it.
No more clown or photoshopped Diane pictures.
None of that. Having kids?
No.
We're on serious business. No joking. Pipe bands? Serious business. No joking.
No joking.
No jokes.
Serious.
No.
Stop it. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed this show, then support us on Patreon for exclusive content, as well as the video of us recording this. We'll have special exercises we'll be writing, as well as tips and tricks with tenor drumming and other instruments to come. Subscribe to us on YouTube for some tenor tutorials and possibly other tutorials later on. And like us on Facebook at Podband Pipecast.